the coaching journey that I've sort of built out, what I really wanted to focus on is making sure it's customized to each individual person. Because one of the things that really frustrated me about all the coaches out, no, I shouldn't say that, about a lot of the coaches that I came across out there, even the journey that I went on when I went through coaching, it was very much sort of a cookie cutter approach. Get the volumes of people in, you slot into it at this point, and then we progress through these steps until you're out the other end and off you go. Whereas I wanted to approach it more like, well, everyone's situation is different. Every human is different. And it's the same way I approach the wealth business. It's low client numbers, it's highly malleable, and it's customized to the person's situation and their headspace. I mean, it has to be. I can't sit there and tell you should do this and then this and then this because of these reasons, and I'll hold you accountable, because it might be very different from what we need to do with Marty. So first off, I mean, what each individual person needs to do might be a little bit different because everyone's receptive to doing things in a different way. But primarily, if we kind of try to throw a blanket over it, I think one of the biggest keys and what I try to do with my clients is accountability. So we set up some routines, or we set a goal, whether it's our weekly, monthly, or longer term goals. And accountability is key, because you know that someone's going to kick you in the backside if you don't do what you've said you're going to do. The simple analogy is that, if you're going to go to the gym 4 days a week and you're just going to rock up, swipe your card, and in you go. If you don't swipe your card and don't go in, who really knows? Nobody. But if you've got a personal trainer session, you've got the guy on the phone going, where are you? You're less likely to not turn up to that session because you've got somebody holding you accountable. So I think the first thing is getting some accountability happening in some way, shape, or form. Could be your work colleagues, Marty. It could be you holding Nick accountable. It could be friends. It could be a coach. It's just having someone in your corner. But then also for me, putting routines in place is really important, just so that we've got a really healthy morning and a really healthy evening. So having a structured routine, but then also utilizing simple tools around us like Outlook to make sure that we don't fall off and fall back into old ways of doing things. There's a million and one apps out there, and they're wonderful things, but then you can also end up with 65 notifications beeping at you and all these things going off on your phone. We all use Outlook, and we all use calendars. Let's use our calendar better to structure our day to work for us. And then I think then really the other component is getting clarity around your end goal, and or whatever that might be, whether it's a longer term end goal or a shorter goal, because you're more inclined to stick to the routine if you know you're working towards achieving a certain goal or an outcome. So it takes a little bit of time for certain people to get used to that, and it sounds way more restrictive than it actually is, but it's about just utilizing some tools, forming some basic routines, and having someone in your corner to hold you accountable. And a lot of people don't have that. And I think just last on that would be, I was guilty of this. My wife told me so many times I should be doing certain things, and I never did it. And it's because it's too close to home. So I needed an external voice to tell me the same thing she'd told me, but I took it on board because it wasn't too close to home. So for many of my clients as well, it's just about having a neutral voice that doesn't have that too much close proximity to you, that tends to make the ears a little more open.